This story apparently takes place a month after the previous issue, and it's about a quest for Freedom Emeralds, a brand new plot device introduced in this issue. I think it's weird the concept of Sonic moving at twice the speed of sound. More than the speed of sound at all. I mean, without, like, a super form. I mean, he's called Sonic the Hedgehog, not Super Sonic the Hedgehog. That's why they gave his super form a separate name like that in the first place. But whatever. It looks like changing her hair color isn't something new for Sally, since there's a mention to the fact that apparently she used to be blonde before dyeing her hair black, a color Sonic prefers. I don't see why she'd look good in blonde hair considering her brown fur color. But anyways, after Sally has a tsundere moment where she hopes that Sonic likes her better with her dyed hair color, the plot actually starts. Sally gives to Sonic a box with a magical crown that her father used to wear containing something called the Freedom Emeralds, saying that she's decided to wear it because its powers might help them find her father and free him. This is another unique from the game's concept, and that's nice and all, but 1. Why didn't she decide to wear it a lot earlier? And 2, if Sally's father's magical crown was so great, then why was Eggman able to dethrone him in the first place? I'm interested to see how this will turn out. Apparently, the Freedom Emeralds keep Eggman's tyranny at bay, which is why he was able to dethrone the king and take over the world, because that makes perfect sense. Sally says that Antoine's royal guard of soldiers keeps a constant watch over them after Sonic wonders what would happen if they fell into the wrong hands. A line that, yes, expresses his concern over this, which is good for his character being likable and relatable, but also makes it even more obvious what problem the plot's setting up. Let me guess, Antoine and his crew screw up. Besides, I don't like the idea of Antoine being in charge of a group of soldiers as if he's that great. Or in charge of anything, for that matter. It doesn't mesh well with me. What has he done to earn this leadership exactly? It's never explained. The crown is apparently missing from the chest. Already. That was fast. That was really fast. Sonic somehow comes to the correct but paranoid conclusion that one of the guards of Antoine was actually a cyborg spy of Eggman's. Okay, I guess his logic is that he thinks it's impossible for anything Robotnik related to get into the base to steal the crown in the first place unless there was a spy. Still, how do you figure this out so fast? I guess Sonic is smarter than we thought. And it's especially a credit to his character that it's Sonic who figures this out, not Sally. And here we have another creative use of his powers by the writers, where Sonic runs in a circle to burn the rubber of his shoe soles, which turns on the smoke detectors that Boomer installed to turn the sprinkler system on. Antoine's last line in this panel was really stupid and forced, an obvious forced joke by the writers. And by the way, Boomer was Rotor's prototype name, which they would later reuse for his evil twin, and make much more sense by doing so because, come on, Boomer sounds like someone who relishes in explosives. Not exactly a fitting name for a hero. Anyway, Sonic's logic is that the cyborg who worked as Eggman's spy is not waterproof, even though you'd think that Robotnik would be able to make anything waterproof, but I guess he's right. The pig, logically enough, is revealed to be a traitor. And his eyes look really weird, by the way. I'm not sure why the color of his pink skin changes. The robot initiates a self-destruct sequence. Robotnik knows where Knothole is. That has no consequences, by the way. You'd think that he would jump on the opportunity to destroy the place, but nope, apparently this goes nowhere. And Sonic uses his super speed to carry the robot all the way out of Knothole just in time for it to blow up without him going with it. Why does Sally assume that Sonic had died? Some faith in him. She knows he has super speed, right? She also acts like a bitch, saying that she was only upset over his death because she missed his recipe for pumpkin pie. You know, she is his friend, right? Lie or not, that's still a dickish thing to say to your friend. Sonic reveals that he saw Robotnik's blimp, and Sally insists that the mission to get the Emeralds back is actually so dangerous that Sonic needs Antoine with him. How would that be useful? I mean, you've got Sonic who can go at the speed of sound and has a spin dash and all that stuff, Then you have Antoine, a regular guy with a sword. A kid had college days? Isn't Antoine like less than 18? That's not funny, it's confusing. The Buzz Bombers pop the balloon of the blimp, naturally, but Sonic uses a Sonic Spin to basically homing attack, or I guess Badnik bounce, over to Robotnik's blimp and pop it. I like this. I mean, it makes sense. They're using ability he has from the games. He then grabs onto Antoine while he's parachuting away, and retrieves the Freedom Emerald from an exploded SWAT bot who was piloting the blimp on autopilot. Sonic? That's not what autopilot means. If it's a robot who's piloting the blimp, it's not on autopilot. It's not like the blimp is literally driving itself. Sonic figures out that Robotnik's plan was to separate the emeralds from each other in order to prevent them from inconveniencing him. Okay then. So, are they only magical when they're all together? Sonic tells Antoine to go back to Sally despite her arbitrary orders. I like that. I like that he's not just blindly obeying her. After retrieving the air emerald earlier, which is green, Sonic jumps into the water to find the water emerald, and accidentally takes Tails along because he snags him with his fishing rod. So Tails gets to go along with the adventure for once. Why does Sonic just assume that the next emerald is in that same cavern he was in last month? That's what I meant by the previous issue taking place last month, by the way. I'm assuming that it's the same cavern. Well, I guess it is, because of this text here, that he was trapped in by the Piranha Robot. And for some reason, well, I don't think it's the exact same one that he had to deal with in the previous issue that's cornering him now. It just looks the same. Why doesn't he just effortlessly spin dash into him instead of letting the wall destroy him? Once again, we have the audience being insulted by letting Sonic and Tails talk underwater. Why did he even have that marker with them? Deus Ex Machina. I'm only not really complaining about it because it's not like Sonic needed it anyways. It could just spin dashed into the fish. This is obviously the low point of the issue. Sonic orders Tails to get the emerald to Sally. Fortunately, nothing happens to him when he's on the way to her as he leaves him alone. Because that would be not only predictable, but also kind of annoying. By the way, why are the nature-loving Sonic and Tails fishermen when they would be opposed to killing or hunting fish for sport? Anyways, Sonic effortlessly takes an emerald from a SWAT bot, only to fall into a trap door that Eggman made because he expected this. After some stilted dialogue and some worthless fourth wall breaking, Sonic goes through an underground cavern full of badniks and steals 2 emeralds from them. 50 pig? I don't understand this line at all. That wasn't funny. But yeah, and uses the Sonic Spin upwards to tunnel out of the ground and into Rotor's lab, bringing them the emeralds back. That was another creative way to use Sonic's powers. Kind of like the Drill Wisp, without the drill, which honestly makes me wonder why Sonic needed a wisp to do that in the first place. He does say that it's his most powerful spin dash yet, so I guess he's kind of lucky he was able to do this. I don't really like Eggman complaining breaking the fourth wall over him not appearing as much in the comic. I mean, seriously, was that really needed? Is breaking the fourth wall ever really needed? The story was written by Michael Gallagher once again, and it's ultimately pointless because we never see this Freedom Emerald crown ever again. It's a wasted concept. And that really sucks, honestly, because I think that Sally could have been more useful throughout the series if she could take advantage of the crown to have special powers like Sonic has. Sonic is really the only freedom fighter who has special powers of any sort, which when I was younger made the others seem really redundant to me. Wouldn't it have been cool if Sally had powers to fight robots too, instead of Sonic being the only one who gets to do it? And I guess Tails too, but that's later in the comic that he's allowed to do that. Maybe her powers would be elemental based, considering we have Freedom Emeralds of land and sea and air and stuff, even though they all look exactly the same, being green instead of being color-coded accordingly, which is really lame. But I guess we don't need Sally with her Mary Sue accusations to be even more competent than she already is. So her being a normal person when you get right down to it was a necessary balance. All in all, I really enjoyed this story. I was invested in it the whole way through. It was the first Sonic comic issue to really feel like an epic, an adventure. Possibly because it's the first one allowed to be of decent length instead of the issue being divided into multiple stories that are too short for their own good at times, and ending with some charming but pointless filler. It's just that this story is ultimately non-canon because the Freedom Emeralds never show up again. Can't have Sally be too useful after all. Instead, let's just keep her as the one making all the plans, hiding in the base while Sonic does all the work. Okay, fine. Let's see what the next issue has to offer.